Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Russell E. Dietrich Park in Jamestown, New York, our final stop on this 6-game, 7-day road trip that has taken the Newark Pilots 1,434 miles across the state of New York. The Pilots are 3-2 on this trip, and if they want to finish it with a winning record, they're going to have to defeat the number 4 nationally ranked collegiate summer league team at their own place. The Jamestown Jammers come into this afternoon's game 27-10 in first place in the PGCBL West. The Pilots are 12-16, 15.5 games behind Jamestown, and just 5.5 behind the Onondaga Flames for playoff contention. After scoring 17 runs on 22 hits and a loss on Friday in Elmira, the Pilots steered their planes into smoother skies last night in Oneonta, scoring 13 runs on just six hits. Last Saturday, these two teams squared off at our place, and the Pilots ended Jamestown's 11-game winning streak. The Pilots will send their 6-foot right-hander from Canisius College in Grand Island, New York, Will Frank, to the hill. He's 0-2 with a 3.80 ERA in 5 previous starts. One of those starts came here at Dietrich Park. He'll be opposed by Chris Valiama, a right-hander from Mercyhurst. He's 1-0 with a 5.68 ERA and will be representing the Western Division in the Jamestown Jammers in the prospect game in Amsterdam on Tuesday afternoon. The lineup that the Pilots will send up to face Valiamont looks like this. Batting first, playing center, Mark McKenna. Batting second, playing short, Graham Hackworth. Batting third, playing third, Hunter Wells. Batting fourth, playing first, Will Alaka. Batting fifth, playing right, Over Torres. Batting sixth behind the plate, Jonathan Parker. Batting seventh, the designated hitter, Colton Carney. Batting eighth, playing left, Josh Loeffler. And batting ninth at second base, it's Zach Santoro. 78 degrees here at Dietrich Park in Jamestown, New York. You're listening to Frank LaSala on the Newark Pilots radio network. Now, as Mark McKenna digs into the left-handed batter's box, let's play some baseball. McKenna has a few words with his Canisius College teammate, Chris Connolly, who is behind the plate for Jamestown. Valiamont squares from the windup, glove in hand. Now fires the first pitch to McKenna, which is taken outside, ball one. First pitch, 3:09 Eastern Time. Here on the last game before the All-Star break. The 39th game the Pilots will play this year, the 1-0. Outside again, counts 2-0. McKenna comes into tonight, third on the team in hits with 28. In 90 at-bats, he's batting .311 with a .406 on-base percentage. The 2-0 swung on, foul-tipped into the glove of Connolly, counts 2-1. He's also the Pilots' leader in average for those who are qualified for the batting title. To be qualified, you have to have 2.7 plate appearances per game. So times that by 39 games or 38 games that the Pilots have already played, and McKenna qualifies. Valiamont from the windup, the 2-1. Slowly pitched. Grounded the other way to O'Donnell. Off his chest bobbles. Throw over. Not going to be in time. McKenna beats it out. And you'll see how they score that one. On the first play of the game, Mark McKenna beats out an error on the shortstop, Alex O'Donnell, and we are underway. First batter reaches on the E6, and that'll bring up Graham Hackworth. Smooth-handing infielder. Was 1 for 4 last night, 2 for 5 on Friday night. Had 2 sacrifice bunts in Friday night's game in a sacrifice opportunity here. He has 3 of those on the year. Valiamont comes set from the stretch. Looks back at McKenna, now fires. Hackworth squares the bunt, pulls it back, and takes strike one. Tim Adams behind the plate and Gary Benton, the base umpires tonight. The Pilots should be familiar with Tim Adams' strike zone. Behind the plate, likes those inside calls, as we've seen him quite a few times all across the state. Valiamont from the stretch, third baseman Estrada, a step off the grass. Hackworth squares the bunt again, pulls it back again, and takes, again, strike 2. So he's quickly behind on the count, no balls and 2 strikes, and we'll see if the third base coach, Franklin Bush, will still have him bunting here, behind in the count, 0-2. Bennett Schultz, the pitching coach, man's first. McKenna leads off. He's being held on by Ben Brookover, the league leader in hits. The 0-2, bunt sign off, strike 3. Hackworth down, looking for out number 1. Defense behind Valiamont goes like this. Left to right in the outfield, Christian Deaton, Skylar Valentine, and Colin Stack. Left to right in the infield, Chris Estrada, Alex O'Donnell, Nick Bernick, and Ben Brookover. And catching Valiamont, it's Chris Connolly. Hunter Wells, the switch-hitting third baseman, will dig into the batter's box from the left side. He'll be representing the Pilots and the Western Division in the All-Star game next week. Has 22 hits and 55 at-bats this summer. Valiamont throws over, scooped by Brookover, prevents it from getting away. Ahead of the first pitch to Wells. Hunter from Tyler Junior College in Texas. Going to be attending Louisiana Tech next year. Valiamont from the stretch, toes the first base side of the rubber. Takes a long look at McKenna, now fires. Gets the outside corner, strike one. So 4 straight called strikes from Tim Adams off the arm of Chris Valiamont that the Pilots have looked at. Valiamont throws over. McKenna back in safely. Valiamont comes set. McKenna has stolen 5 bases in 7 attempts. Wells takes high. We're even at a ball and a strike. Add the 1 in the out column, and there's ones across the top of the scoreboard. A ball is striking out. McKenna leads off first, being held on by Ben Brookover. Wells asks for time, granted by Tim Adams behind the plate. Counts 1-1. Tim Adams gives the ready for play to Chris Valiamont. And Hunter Wells waits the 1-1. Swung on and chased a high fastball. And Wells is behind in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Mark McKenna leads off first. He reached on an error by the shortstop, Alex O'Donnell, for Jamestown. So O'Donnell's 11th error on the year. And the count's 1-2 to Wells. McKenna leads off first. Valiamont towing the rubber from the first base side from the stretch. Comes set, looks over, double checks, triple checks, now fires. The 1-2 taken outside, strike 3. Wells down looking. So back-to-back strikeouts for Chris Valiamont, up to 26 on the year. And there's 2 away. Valiamont in 12 2/3 previous innings, 8 hits, 10 runs, 8 of those earned. He's walked 12 and has now struck out 26. Will Alaka will step in, 29 for 103 with a .282 batting average. Will be representing the Western Division and the Newark Pilots in the prospect game on Tuesday. Same as Valiamont. They'll be teammates. First pitch swung on, fouled back. Counts 0-1. Alaka comes set, playing first base tonight where he was last night. Peter Battaglia with the 2 days before the All-Star break off. The 0-1. Smoked foul. The other way. And he is quickly behind in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Chris Valiamont looking to strand that leadoff error and pick up his teammate O'Donnell. Count is 0-2 to Will Alaka. Over Torres would be next. McKenna leads off first. He's being held on by Ben Brookover. Valiamont set, double checks on McKenna, the 0-2. Taken, this one off the plate. And the count's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Wearing number 27 from Richmond, Virginia, and the University of Virginia in the Atlantic Coast Conference. Redshirted there in his first year. He's a second-year pilot. The 1-2. Grounded to O'Donnell. He will cleanly glove this one. He will fire across the diamond. Good stretch by Brookover. Retires the side. No runs, no hits, 1 error in the inning, and that runner is stranded. We played a half an inning here at Dietrich Park. Newark Pilots nothing, and the Jamestown Jammers are coming to bat. Welcome back. Bottom of the first. The leadoff error on which Mark McKenna reached was wasted. Chris Valiamont then got the next three batters retired. Will Frank will toe the rubber, and he will face a Jamestown lineup that's scoring 7.5 runs per game. Pilots giving up the same amount, 7.5 runs per game. Chris Connolly, the catcher, will lead it off. Fresh off his multi-home run game last night in a loss against Geneva at McDonough Park last night. He digs in, leading the league with a .598 on base percentage and is second in the league with his .406 average. First pitch squares the bunt, pulls it back, and takes ball one. Conley, a redshirt junior at Canisius College, which is the same school that Pilot center fielder Mark McKenna and the man on the mound, Will Frank, attend. So three teammates all the way up the middle. Conley takes outside, counts 2-0. Conley has the best eye in the perfect game league. He's got 43 walks, which is 14 more than the man in second. The 2-0 popped up. Parker will give this one a look playable. He will not make the play, overruns the ball behind home plate. Gives Connolly more pitches. And the count's 2-1. So Parker with a ball hit in play, just unable to track it down in front of the stands off to my left. It'll be a 2-1 count to Chris Connolly. Outside off the plate. The man with the best eye is ahead in the count, 3 balls and a strike. He'll be representing the Western Division in the All-Star game, along with 9 of his teammates. The 3-1. Ball 4. Chris Connolly works a leadoff walk off of Will Frank. Will Frank in 23 2/3 innings. He's gone 13 hits, 13 runs, 10 of those earned. He's now walked 14, and he struck out 23. 0-2 with a .380 earned run average. That'll bring up Chris Steff, designated hitter, freshman from St. John's. Rest of the lineup after this pitch. Taken for strike 1. Batting third, playing first, Ben Brookover. Batting fourth, playing center, Skylar Valentine. Batting fifth, playing third, Chris Estrada. Batting sixth, playing right, Colin Stack. Batting seventh, playing short, Alex O'Donnell. The 0-1. Checks his swing. Count is even at a ball and a strike. Batting eighth, playing left, Christian Deaton. And batting ninth, playing second, Nick Bernick. Frank comes set, the 1-1. Ground or lined past the diving glove of Wells at third into left. Loeffler over to cut it off. And the first 2 men have reached for the Jamestown Jammers here in the bottom of the first. So you know the left side of the infield with Hunter Wells and Josh Loeffler. The rest, left to right in the outfield, Loeffler, McKenna, and Torres. Left to right in the infield, Hunter Wells, Graham Hackworth, Zach Santoro, and Will Alaka. And catching Will Frank, it's Jonathan Parker. All right-handed throwers except for the man in center field, Mark McKenna. That'll bring up Ben Brookover, the league leader in hits in the Perfect Game League with 50. Four more than anyone else. First pitch, blooped into right, Torres in. No tag from Conley, who will make the play for out number 1. So 1 pitch out to the man who leads the league in hitting. And there's 1 away. Parker will hand him his bat. He will head back to the third base dugout. And that'll bring up Skylar Valentine, the man who is second in the league in hitting, a junior from the University of Texas at San Antonio. The center fielder digs in, Conley off second and Steffel off first. A walk and a single put them there. Will Frank, towing the rubber from the first base side, comes set, now fires. First pitch, breaking ball, strike 1. Skylar Valentine, 46 hits, 131 at-bats, 351 with a .479 on-base percentage. Will Frank, wearing number 32, comes set, looks back at his Canisius teammate, now triple checks on him. The 0-1, low. We're even at a ball and a strike. Add the 1 in the out column, and there's 1s across the top of the scoreboard here in the bottom of the first at Dietrich Park. Valentine waits. Will Frank comes set. The 1-1. Off the plate, Parker tries to bring it back into the zone. No dice. Counts 2-1. Will Frank comes set. The 2-1. Popped up, out of play, and the count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. The new top 35 collegiate summer league rankings have come out yesterday. In fact, Amsterdam, who we lost to on Thursday at their place 7-3, is ranked 4th. And after a rough week for the Jammers, who just went 1-5, dropped all the way down from 5th to 18th. Skylar Valentine working a lengthy at-bat. Counts 2-2. The Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs have entered the top 35, and they rank 19th, just behind Jamestown. So the perfect game league with 3 teams in the top 19. The 2-2. Lined over the head of Santoro into right center field. This is going to be a base hit. Conley's going to round third. He's coming home. The throw from Torres is going to be cut off. It's an RBI single for Skylar Valentine. And the Jamestown Jammers are on the board. They lead it 1-0. Chris Steffel moves up to second base. Valentine picks up his 23rd run batted in on the year. And more importantly, Jamestown has a 1-0 lead as Chris Estrada digs it. Wells even with the bag over at third. Rest of the infield deep. Valentine off first. Steffel off second. Just 1 out. First pitch breaking ball dropped in by Will Frank for strike 1. Estrada also from UTSA, so 3 straight from the University of Texas at San Antonio. Has 41 hits and 148 at-bats. The third baseman. The 0-1. Low. Counts 1-1. Estrada, one of the better defensive third basemen that we have seen this summer. The 1-1. Bounced in front of Parker, keeps it in front of him. And the count goes to 2-1. To Skylar Valentine. Or make that Chris Estrada. Valentine leads off first after the RBI single. This one chopped to Wells. Takes it on a hop. Fires to second in time. Return throw to first. Not in time. So Wells had to wait for that one to come down. Just beats Valentine at second for the fielder's choice and out number 2. So it's a 5-4 putout. Return throw by Santoro. Actually closer than it would have seemed off the bat. A strong throw. Just missed retiring Estrada. That moves up Steffel to third. There's runners on the corners. And there's 2 away. So Will Frank, a pitch away from limiting the damage at just 1. Alaka will hold on the runner at first. First pitch to Colin Stack, the right-handed hitting right fielder. Bounced, counts 1-0. Will Frank comes set. Looks over at first, now fires. 1-0 pitch fouled back out of play. And we're even at a ball and a strike. Drops a breaking ball in for strike 2. Now just a strike away from getting out of this one. Runners on the corners, runner on first goes, hit and run on the 1-2, fouled back the other way. And we'll do it again. So Estrada, who is running on the play, will have to head back to first. Steffel leads off third. 2 outs in this inning. Colin Stack told to step out by his third base coach ahead of this 1-2. Runners on the corners. The 1-2 runner goes again. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Collins Stack down swinging for out number 3. Jamestown gets on the board. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 men left on base. We played 1 here from Dietrich Park. And the number 18 nationally ranked Jammers lead 1-0. Welcome back. Top of the second inning. Pilots got a runner to first on an error, but were unable to move him up. And Jamestown scored a run on 2 hits on an RBI single from Skylar Valentine. Leading off for the Pilots, the right-handed swinging right fielder, Over Torres, against Chris Valiamont. Valiamont working from the windup. First pitch bounced to Torres, counts 1-0. Over will be representing the Western Division in the Perfect Game League in the Prospect Game on Tuesday in Amsterdam. One of 3 pilots in the Prospect Game. The others, Battaglia and Alaka. The 1-0. Strike 1. Torres also ranks number 2 in a category that most hitters do not want to rank number 2 in. He struck out the second most, 30 times. The 1-1. Checks his swing on a pitch in the dirt. Looked like he went around, but no ask from Chris Connolly, so it doesn't hurt Torres. Counts 2-1. The good thing, however, for Torres is he's 10 strikeouts behind the man who ranks first. The 2-1. Swung on and missed. Counts 1-2. The right-handed swinging right fielder, Over Torres, for the Pilots. Digs in to lead off the second inning here at Dietrich Park. Sun out, a few clouds overhead on this afternoon start on this Sunday ball game. The 2-2. Taken, strike 3. Torres down, looking for out number 1 here in the second. So the third strikeout of the night for Valiamont. All 3 have been of the looking variety. And there's one away as Jonathan Parker steps up to the plate. Parker caught last night in the win in Oneonta. Went 0 for 2, but scored 3 runs. Walked twice and was hit by a pitch. Valiamont comes set. First pitch to Parker. Checks his swing. Tim Adams going to ask if he went around. Base umpire Gary Benton says, no, sir, he did not. And the count's 1-0. The 1-0. Strike 1. We're even at a ball and a strike. The 1-1. Off speed, swung on and fouled back. Counts the ball and 2 strikes. Valuamont steps off. Parker readies. Ahead of the 1-2. From the windup. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Parker down swinging for out number 2. So the 4th strikeout of the night for Chris Valuamont as Colton Carney steps up to the dish. The designated hitter got the night off last night after playing in right in the marathon game on Friday in Elmira. In that game, Colton went 2 for 5, was hit by a pitch, walked, scored 2 runs, and drove 1 in. 7 plate appearances. First pitch from Valuamont. Outside, ball 1. The final day of this long road trip, by the time we get back to Colburn Park, we'll have traveled 1,434 miles across the state. The 1-0. It's a called strike 1 from Tim Adams. Carney with his long locks hanging out of his batting helmet from the right side. Where's number 21, the designated hitter? 1-1 pitch is outside. Counts 2-1. Looking to extend this inning for the Pilots, who have struck out for the first 2 times in this inning, or the first 2 outs. Valuamont from the windup, the 2-1. Carney thought about it, lets it sail low, and he's ahead in the count. 3 balls and a strike against Chris Valuamont. The righty comes set from the windup. The 3-1. Carney swinging, fouls it back, and the count is full. Pilots 3-2 on this road trip. The wins in Oneonta, Adirondack, and Geneva. The loss is in Elmira on Friday night. In a marathon game, 35 runs scored in that one. That went 10. And then in Amsterdam on Thursday. So looking to stop their 2-game slide. The payoff pitch. Fouled back. We'll do it again. We're actually looking to stop. They've lost 2 of 3. They won last night to end their 2-game slide. As a Wasp has entered the press box here at Dietrich Park. The payoff pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Carney down looking. So Chris Valuamont says good morning, good evening, and good night to the Pilots hitters here in the top of the second. We head to the bottom half. Jamestown leads 1-0 here from Dietrich Park. Bottom of the second, 7, 8, and 9. Here in the Pilots order, Chris Valuamont struck out the side in the top half of this inning. First pitch from Will Frank. Strike 1 to Alex O'Donnell. He'll be followed by Christian Deaton and Nick Bernick. As O'Donnell squares the bunt, he pulls it back and takes an off-speed pitch for strike 2. He's behind in the count. Alex O'Donnell has the 7th worst batting average among qualified hitters at .219. He swings through a fastball for strike 3. So Will Frank strikes out back-to-back batters spanning over 2 different innings, and there's one away to start this second. So he says good morning, good evening, and good night to Alex O'Donnell on a 3-pitch strikeout for out number 1. Will allowed 1 run on 2 hits in the bottom of the first. First pitch to the left-handed swinging left fielder Christian Deaton, taken for strike 1. The 0-1. Lined into center field. McKenna, a few steps to his right, finds it, gloves it, and makes the play for out number 2. Got to bring up the number 9-hole hitter, Nick Burnick. Right-handed swinging second baseman for the Jammers from Niagara. So Peter Battaglia's teammate there. Will Frank from the windup. First pitch gets the outside part of the plate. Counts 0-1. From the windup. Fastball swung on and missed. Burnick behind in the count. No balls and 2 strikes. The leadoff man, Chris Connolly, would be next. Will Frank hoping to not see him until the 3rd. Has an 0-2 count on Burnick, the number 9-hole hitter. Takes inside the first out of the zone of the inning from Will. And the count's 1 ball and 2 strikes. To the Jammers, second baseman Burnick. 10 for 51 on the year. 1-2. Bounced. That 10 for 51, good enough for a 196 batting average, just below the Mendoza line for Burnick. The 2-2. Off the outside corner, and the count is full. To Burnick. Will Frank from the windup. The payoff pitch. Grounded up the middle. Hackbarth over, will not get there. It'll be an infield or a single for Nick Burnick as the ball rolls into center field. And a 2-out base runner for the Jammers. That'll flip the lineup back over for the leadoff hitter, Chris Connolly. Conley, the catcher, walked and scored a run against his Canisius teammate his first time up. First pitch. Counts 1-0. Will Frank back in the windup where he was for the entire first inning. Counts 1-0. Will Frank looks over at Alaka holding on the runner. This one gets the plate. And we're even at a ball and a strike. Towing the rubber from the first base side, Alaka holding on Burnick. Over at first. From the stretch, the 1-1. Taken upstairs. Counts 2 balls and a strike. Will Frank comes set. The 2-1. A called strike 2. Trying to end this inning right here. Two balls, 2 strikes out of 2 in the out column, and there's 2s across the top of the scoreboard. Comes set from the stretch. The 2-2. Lined into center field. McKenna on. He will come on to a slide and make the play for out number 3. So a Canisius man on the mound pitches to his Canisius teammate, And the third member of the Canisius trio out in center field, robs Chris Conley for out number 3. No runs, 1-2 out single, wasted. We head to the third, 1-0 Jammers lead here at Dietrich Park. Welcome back. Top of the third. Chris Valiamont has retired 6 Pilots hitters in a row, 5 strikeouts. Got the side retired for the Pilots in the top of the second, all via a strikeout. Will Frank stranded a 1-out single when his teammate in center, Mark McKenna, robbed their Canisius teammate, Chris Connolly, of a hit on a sliding play in center. First pitch swinging is Josh Loeffler, right-handed swinging left fielder. Counts 0-1. He's 9 for 41, 220 batting average, 353 on base percentage, redshirted in his freshman campaign at the University of Connecticut. The 0-1. Takes a called strike down the middle. And Loeffler is behind in the count. Quickly, no balls and 2 strikes. Vernick or Valiamont comes set, the 0-2. Bounced. Counts the ball and 2 strikes. Valiamont working from the windup. First base side of the rubber here to Josh Loeffler, the 1-2. Lined into center field. This ball will get over the head of Bernick, and it's going to drop. A bloop single for Josh Loeffler, and the Pilots have their first hit of the ball game. As the number 9-hole hitter, Zach Santoro steps to the dish. Before he steps in, he will look down at his third base coach, Franklin Bush. After Santoro, it'll be followed by the top of the order as Mark McKenna waits on deck. Third baseman Estrada comes in a few steps on the grass as Santoro squares to bunt, but pops this one up all the way behind the Pilots' dugout out of play. Counts 0-1. So the hardest pitch that Chris Valiamont has thrown all night hits off the bat of Santoro and flies back. The single by Loeffler breaks a string of 6 straight Pilots retired. Valiamont throws over. Brookover slaps the tag on Loeffler, but not in time. Santoro behind in the count, no balls and a strike. Batting .308 on the year, 8 for 26. Squares the bunt again, pulls it back. This ball gets away from Conley. Loeffler is going to head down to second. And it counts 1-1 to Santoro. Santoro, the second baseman tonight for the Pilots. It was a passed ball on Chris Conley. Loeffler leads off second. Now the corners are in. Bunt sign off. Swinging at that one. That ball just missed me up here. Thought it was coming to take my head off. And the count is 1-2 strikes. Valiamont comes set. The 1-2. And excuse me swing. A dribbler down to first. Brookover will slap the tag on Santoro, but it gets the job done as Loeffler moves up to third. So the tying run just 90 feet away with less than 2 outs. As Mark McKenna will step up to the plate. McKenna with 17 RBIs ranks him 4th on the team. And the Jammers will bring their infield in with just 1 away. Loeffler off third after the pass ball and the fielder's choice ground out. First pitch, swung on, fouled back. McKenna behind the count, 0-1. McKenna was the first batter of the ballgame and reached on an E6. Valiamont steps off ahead of the 0-1. To McKenna. Made a great play with his glove in the field to end the bottom half of the second. Now looking to make a play with his bat. Swings at a pitch in the dirt. And he is behind in the count. No balls and 2 strikes. An RBI moves him into second place on the team. The 0-2 from Valiamont. Whoa. Counts 1 ball and 2 strikes. Valiamont's given up a single and has struck out 5 through the first 2 1/3 here tonight. He will come set from the stretch. Looks over at Loeffler. Big leg kick, the 1-2. Off speed, foul tipped into the glove of Conley. Strike 3, Mark McKenna down swinging, and there's 2 away. As Graham Hackbarth steps up to the dish. Struck out looking his first time up in an RBI opportunity. If he can drive Loeffler in, he'll enter double digits. .45th pitch upcoming from Valiamont. He's thrown 31 for strikes. First pitch swinging is Hackbarth. Lines this one into left. It's going to be an RBI single for Graham, and this game is tied. First pitch swinging. It was an off-speed pitch from Valiamont. Did not fool Hackbarth. Gets his 10th RBI on the year, and more importantly, ties us up at 1. So Graham takes over at first. He'll be held on by Ben Brookover. And the switch-hitting Hunter Wells will step up to the dish. Struck out looking his first time up as well. Takes a first pitch off the plate. Tim Adams didn't like it. Counts 1-0. Switch hitter batting from the left side against the righty Valiamont, the 1-0. No leg kick that time. And we're even at a ball and a strike. One ball, 1 strike, 2 away. Runner goes, throw down by Connolly will not be made. Should be a stolen base for Hackbarth, his 3rd. And the Pilots have another man in scoring position with 2 away. Valiamont looks in. It was a called strike to Wells. And the count's a ball and 2 strikes. Comes set. The 1-2. Off speed, grounded slowly. It was given a stolen base to Hackbarth. So he's 3 for 4 on the year. Drove in the Pilots' first run on a 2-out single to drive Josh Loeffler in. So the Pilots, who scored 30 runs in their last 19 innings at the plate, have their first tonight. Took them last night, 1 batter into the 6th to get their second hit. Tonight they have their second hit in the 3rd. But Wells is behind in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Hackbarth off second, the 1-2. Bounced. The count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Add the 2 in the out column, and we got 2s across the top of the scoreboard. Off in right center field. Switch hitting third baseman. Waits. The 2-2. Fouled into the Jammer bullpen. And we'll do it again. The 6th pitch of the at-bat of coming to Hunter Wells. Making Chris Valiamont throw a lot of pitches. Comes set from the stretch. Looks at Hackbarth. Double checks. Big leg kick. This one lined into center field. Valentine over. Not going to get there. This ball is into the gap. Hackbarth's going to score. Wells is going to round first. He's heading to second. He will stop right there. It's an RBI double for Hunter Wells. And the Pilots have taken the lead. So Alaka will step up. Conley will go out and talk to Valiamont. It's Hunter Wells' 14th RBI. And he is given the double. So the first extra base hit of the ballgame. Wells, the first of 3 straight All-Stars for the Pilots, in here with 2 outs, looking to extend this inning. Wells and Hackbarth have done it. Now Alaka's turn. Rounded out too short his first time up. First pitch from Valiamont. Swinging, pops it up. Sends Brook over back. Stack over in foul territory. This ball gonna land foul. And the count's on 1. To Will Alaka. Valiamont looks at Wells. Now will double check. The 0-1. Swung on and chased a pitch up out of the zone. And the count's 0-2. Pilots with 2 runs in this inning on 3 hits. Valiamont will come set, glove in hand. Looks back at Wells. Big leg kick. Grounded to second. Burnick will take it on a hop. He will fire to first to end this top of the 3rd. But the Pilots get 2. 2 runs on 3 hits, no errors in the inning, and 1 man left on base. We head to the bottom of the 3rd. Shutdown inning time for Will Frank. Pilots with a 2-1 lead. Top of the third, 2, 3, and 4 to face Will Frank, who's given up 1 run on 3 hits. Pilots got 2 runs on 3 hits in the top half of this third. First pitch to Chris Steffel, swung on and fouled back, count 0-1. He singled against Will Frank his first time up and made it all the way to third. Pilots in shutdown innings have given up a run in 97% of them. The 0-1, fouled back, counts 0-2. Last night, they were a successful 5 for 5 in shutdown opportunities, meaning the inning after scoring a run, they post a 0. Waste pitch from Will Frank, it heads outside, counts 1-2. That does not count games where they score runs in the bottom of the 9th or the top of the 9th in a loss. The 1-2. Checks his swing. Tim Adams going to say he went around. Parker will slap the tag, and there's 1 away. The third strikeout of the night for Will Frank. And that'll bring up Ben Brookover. Flew out to Torres, his first time up.
Now back up first baseman number 30, Ben Brookover.
So the Pilots have given up, they've scored in 100 different innings this year and given up 97 in the next half. First pitch to Ben Brookover, the first baseman, misses low. Count is a ball and no strikes. Beautiful Sunday afternoon here as we touch 4 o'clock in Jamestown, New York. Will Frank goes off speed, and it counts a ball and a strike to Ben Brookover as he drops 1 in there. Add the 1 in the out column. We got 1s across the top of the scoreboard. Pilots posted a 2-spot, 2 out RBIs, a Graham Hackbart single, and a Hunter Wells double. The 2 future Louisiana Tech Bulldogs. The 1-1 to Brookover fouled back, and the count is a ball and 2 strikes. Skylar Valentine waits on deck. The 1-2. Grounded up the middle, off Will Frank's leg. He will keep it in front of him. He will fire to first. Alaka hangs on, and Parker will go out and make sure Will is all right. So 2 Wills team up for the second out. Parker checks both ankles of Will Frank, who's smiling on the mound. Parker heads back behind home plate, and there's 2 away. As Skylar Valentine digs in, 1 for 1, drove in the Jammers' only run with a single his first time up. From the windup, the first pitch. Off the plate, Parker tries to give Tim Adams an extra long look. Still doesn't like what he sees. Counts 1-0. This time a called inside strike, and we're even at a ball and a strike. Working quickly, grounder to Wells. He will wait back on it and fire across the diamond. Stretched by Alaka. Gary Betton had to ask Tim Adams to see if he held on to the bag. Tim Adams says he did, to retire the inning, but the Jamestown manager going to go out and ask for an explanation. Gary Benton going to explain to him that he did confer with Tim Adams to confirm that Alaka's right foot stayed on the bag. So a 1-2-3, bottom of the third from Will Frank. No runs, no hits, no errors. No one left on base. We head to the top of the fourth. When the Pilots take their swings, they will see a 2-1 lead here on the Dietrich Park scoreboard here in Jamestown. Torres, Parker, and Colton Carney. 5, 6, and 7 for the Pilots. This trio all struck out in the 1, 2, 3, top of the second against Valiant. Torres, for the 31st time on the year, swings through a high fastball for strike 1. Torres going to be representing the Pilots in the Western Division in the prospect game in Amsterdam on Tuesday afternoon. The 0-1 takes a fastball at the knees. That's a called strike from Tim Adams. There was no further argument by the Jamestown manager after base umpire Gary Benton explained to him that he did confer for the final out, on which Willawaka kept his foot on the bag. 0-2 pitch is taken outside by Torres, who's 27 for 97 on the year. 281 batting average. The freshman from Yavapai Community College in Prescott, Arizona. The 1-2. Off speed, checks his swing, but does not go around. And the count is all evened up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Valiama will work from the windup. Now fire, the 2-2. Taken low, and Auvert has worked this count full. Two runs, 3 hits for the Pilots. 1 run, 3 hits, 1 error for the Jammers. Here in the 4th, the payoff pitch. Strike 3, Torres down looking for out number 1. He's retired on strikes for the 2nd time tonight, the 7th from Valiamont. He's now got 31 on the year. And that'll bring up Jonathan Parker. Struck out swinging his first time up. Valiamont's got a long way to go if he wants to catch up to the Pilots' strikeout record in 1 game. It sits at 20. Houston Roth did that. Back in a start against Will Frank, who's on the mound tonight for the Pilots. It's a 1-0 count now to Jonathan Parker. Valiamont taking his time, the 1-0. Fouled back. We're even at a ball and a strike. He comes set from the windup, the 1-1. Popped up into center field. Valentine started back, now will spring in. He'll find it, he'll glove it, and he will make the play for out number 2. That'll bring up Colton Carney, the designated hitter tonight for the Pilots. Struck out swinging his first time up. 13 for 47 on the year, batting .277 with a .414 on base percentage. Working from the windup, Valiamont. The first pitch. Checked his swing and takes on the outside corner. It's a called strike 1 from Tim Adams. The 0-1. Bounced in front of the plate. We're even at a ball and a strike. From the windup, Valiamont, the 1-1. Lined into left. This ball is going to be a base hit. Carney's going to take a long turn around first. Deaton fires a strike back into the infield, holds Carney there, and it's a 2-out single. The 4th hit of the night for the Pilots, who are still alive here with 2 outs, as Josh Loeffler comes to the plate. Singled his first time up to lead off the 3rd and scored the Pilots' first run on an RBI single from Graham Hackbarth. Zach Santoro waits on deck and a chance for Josh Loeffler to extend this inning. First pitch, upstairs. Counts 1-0. Loeffler in the right-handed batter's box, the left fielder from the University of Connecticut. Carney leads off first. Brookover holding him up. Loeffler chases a high fastball out of the zone, and the count is even at a ball and a strike. Carney leads off first, reached on a 2-out single. Valiamont from the stretch. The 1-1. Carney goes, hit and run on. This ball is lined into right. Stack over, he will slide to avoid running into the fence down in right field in front of the Pilot's pen. It lands in front of him. Carney will head back to first, and it's a ball and 2 strikes to Loeffler. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Valiamont from the stretch comes set. Carney off first. Valiamont will step off and look Colton back. Colton was running on the last pitch to Loeffler that he hopped foul. He's stolen 6 bases on the year and has not been caught. Valiamont comes set. The 1-2. Carney starts to go, then stops. This ball bounces in front of Conley. Nonchalantly picks it up as Carney dances around, then retouches first base, not going anywhere. Count is 2 balls and a strike. Or actually even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Add the 2 in the out column, and we've got 2s across the top of the scoreboard. Sten this inning has a 2-2 count against Valiamont. Carney leads off first. He goes. The pitch, low. It is a stolen base for Colton Carney. He's 7 for 7. And the count is full for Josh Loeffler. No throw down by Conley. Thought he was going to get a called strike 3. No luck as Carney gets his 7th stolen base. Comes set. Valiamont. The payoff pitch. Inside, ball 4. Loeffler heads down to first on the 2-out walk. Back-to-back 2-out base runners for the Pilots. And that'll bring up Zach Santoro. From Notre Dame College. Made an out his first time up, but it was a successful one on a single from Josh Loeffler. Originally squared to bunt. Count went to 0-2 after Loeffler moved up to second on a pass ball. The bunt sign was turned off. He then had an excuse-me swing that he grounded up the first base line, allowing Loeffler to move down to third. He then would come around to score on an RBI single from Hackworth. So another opportunity for Santoro here to have a productive at-bat. Started in the marathon game on Sunday, went 1 for 4 with a run scored in an RBI before being lifted for a pinch runner in the top of the 9th. That pinch runner, Christian Orr, came around to score the 17th or the 16th and tying run in the top of the 9th to send us into extras. The Pilots would then lose that game 18-17. So a big at-bat here for Santoro. Valiamont looking to strand the 2-out base runners. First pitch, Santoro takes high, and the count is 1-0. The 73rd pitch from Valiamont. Carney starts to go, then stops. Santoro fouls this one back. And we're even at a ball and a strike. 4th game here at Dietrich Park in Jamestown. 0-3 here on the year. Looking to pick up our first win here. Carney goes. Great jump. Hit and run on. Santoro fouls this one the other way, so Loeffler and Carney will have to head back to first and second. The 39th game of the year, so just 11 left after the All-Star break. Loeffler off first, Carney off second. Valiamont comes set. Double checks on Carney. The 1-2. Hit and run off. The pitch is bounced by Conley. No throw down to third. as Carney takes third on what should be his second stolen base. See how they score it here. If it's a stolen base, he's 8 for 8. As Conley kept it in front of him, so should be scored a stolen base. Loeffler stayed put at first. It's a 2-2 count to Zach Santoro. 2 runners on and 2 outs. Deuce is wild for the second baseman. It is a stolen base for Carney. So he's 8 for 8, 2 for 2 in this inning. The 2-2. Low, and the count is full. To the number 9 hole hitter, Santoro. The leadoff man, McKenna, waits on deck. Brookover will play behind Loeffler at first. Should get him started. A 3-2 count and 2 outs. Carney leads off third. Valiamont comes set. The payoff pitch. Swung on, fouled back. Santoro will live to see another pitch. Loeffler will have to retouch first, and we'll do it again. So Zach Santoro, the Pilots' second baseman, making Valiamont throw a lot of pitches here with 2 outs, has a full count. From the stretch, Loeffler goes, payoff pitch. Popped up. Burnick over, Brookover a few steps back. Burnick will call him off. He'll find it, he'll glove it in short right field to make the play for out number 3. The Pilots get 2 2-out base runners. Strand both. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 2 men left on base. We head to the bottom of the 4th. Newark with a lead here in Jamestown, 2-1. Welcome back, bottom of the 4th. 5, 6, and 7 in the Jamestown order. This trio is 0 for 3 tonight against Will Frank, who in a shutdown opportunity got the Jammers to go 1, 2, 3 in the bottom of the 3rd. Fires in a strike one. Pilots lead this game 2-1 here. We're in the bottom of the 4th. 2 runs, 4 hits for Newark. 1 run, 3 hits, 1 error for Jamestown. 1 strike pitch, drops a breaking ball again. Counts 1 and 2. Will has walked a batter, given up just 2 singles or 3 singles, and has struck out 3 Jammers hitters. He's retired 4 in a row. The 0-2. Back. We'll do it again. Will Frank all the way on the first base side of the rubber. Count is 0-2. Popped up. Santoro back, Torres in. McKenna, the one to call for it in between Santoro and Torres in short right center, makes the play for out number 1. We've seen McKenna make some spectacular sliding plays, really knows how to take control, patrolling the outfield in center field. The most notable catch, robbing a home run of TJ Collette from the University of Kentucky in Amsterdam on Thursday night. First pitch to Colin Stack, taken high. The home run robbery was to end the bottom of the 6th. The 1-0. Count is even at a ball and a strike. Add the one in the out column. We got ones across the top of the scoreboard. 1-1, lined foul. Counts 1-2. From the windup, right-handed swinging right fielder at the dish. The 1-2. Taken below the knees. And we're even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2. Off speed, strike 3. Stack down looking. Tim Adams asks if he needs any help. Colin Stack says, no, thank you, sir. I'm just looking. The 4th strikeout of the night for Will Frank and the 2nd out here in the inning. As that brings up Alex O'Donnell. First pitch from Will Frank drops another breaking ball in for strike 1. Alex O'Donnell struck out swinging his first time up. The 0-1. Quickly working and firing strikes is Will Frank, and the count's 0-2. About to throw his 62nd pitch of the night. The 0-2. Bounced in front of the plate off the mask of Parker. Count goes to a ball and 2 strikes. The junior shortstop from Mercyhurst for the Jammers. Batting just .219 on the year. Up here against Will Frank. From the windup. The 1-2. Grounded to Wells. He will let this ball go. Hackbarth can't get it. And the ball rolls into left. So it's a 2-out single for Alex O'Donnell. Breaks a string of 6 straight retired by Will and a 2-out base runner for the Jammers. As the left-handed swinging left fielder, Christian Deaton, comes to the dish. Flew out to McKenna in center. His first time up. Will Frank will look over, back in the stretch for the first time since the 2nd. Fires in a first pitch that gets the outside corner. Counts 0-1. It was a 1-2 count before Alex O'Donnell managed to find a hole past both gloves of Wells and Hackbarth on the left side into left. The 0-1. Lined into right. This ball is going to drop in front of Torres. O'Donnell's going to round second. He's headed to third. Throw from Torres. Cut off by Hackbarth. It's a single for Deaton. Back-to-back 2-out singles, and there's runners on the corners as the number 9 hole hitter, Nick Burnick, comes to the plate. He is 1 for 1 tonight. Will Frank, after smooth sailing first 2 batters, runs himself into trouble. Has thrown 66% of his 63 pitches for strikes. 42 strikes, 21 out of the zone. Has lowered his ERA down to 2.45. But a base hit here from Burnick or a wild pitch / pass ball could raise that back up. First pitch, popped up. Alaka will give it a look, but it will land out of play. Counts 0-1. The junior second baseman from Niagara. Jonathan Parker giving the infield the signal in case of a double steal attempt from Deaton and O'Donnell. O'Donnell, risky base running, went first to third on that single from Deaton. Strong throw from Torres was cut off by Hackbarth. Deaton starts to go, then stops. It's a called strike 2 on the outside corner to Nick Burnick. So Will Frank is quickly ahead in the count. Looking to keep this game in the Pilots' control. From the stretch, the 0-2, runner goes. Pitch high, throw down by Parker. Not made. Deaton had stopped and started running again. Was willing to get in a rundown if need be, but should be a stolen base for Deaton. It's a 1-2 count. If it is a stolen base, and it's Deaton's 8th. Count is 1 ball and 2 strikes to Nick Burnick, the number 9 hole hitter. The 1-2. Swung on, foul tipped into the glove of Parker. Strike 3. Burnick down on strikes. So back-to-back 2-out singles are stranded. No runs, 2 hits. No errors, and 2 men left on base. We play 4. When the Pilots look up and take their swings in the top of the 5th, they'll see a 2-1 lead here on the Russell E. Dietrich scoreboard in right center here in Jamestown. Chris Valiamont back here in the top of the 5th. Both pitchers worked themselves into some 2-out trouble. Got runners to 3rd on back-to-back base runners. So with runners on the corners and 2 outs in the 4th, both pitchers were able to strand the runners there. So no score change. Pilots still lead it 2-1. The leadoff man, Mark McKenna, digs in for the 3rd time tonight. He's 0 for 2. Out in front of an off-speed pitch from Valiamont. Ball rolls foul. And it's an 0-1 count to McKenna. Working from the stretch. Valiamont. Grounded up the middle. Burnick over to his right. Will charge it. He will fire to first. McKenna's 0 for 3, and there's 1 away. So McKenna down swinging, and that'll bring up Graham Hackworth. Drove in a run with a single his last time up. Valiamont from the windup. Hackworth 1 for 2. First pitch taken low. Counts 1-0. He also scored a run and stole a base. Hunter Wells waits on deck here for the Pilots. The 1-0. Low. Counts 2-0. From the windup, Valiamont. The 2-0. Inside, Hackworth quickly ahead. 3 balls and no strikes. Here with 1 out in the top of the 5th. At Russell E. Dietrich Park in Jamestown. On this Sunday afternoon game, 4:29 on the clock. Pilots lead this one 2-1. On this final game of this 6-game road trip, the 3-0. Taking all the way, Hackworth will head down to first for the 2nd time, this time on a walk. It's the 2nd walk issued by Valiamont tonight, and the Pilots have a 1-out base runner. That'll bring up the switch hitting Third baseman Hunter Wells, Tim Adams out to give Valiamont a new ball on the mound. Wells drove in Hackbarth with an RBI double his last time up. He is also 1 for 2. Will be playing in the All-Star game on Tuesday. Him and Henry Martinez, Pilot starter, who leads the Perfect Game League in strikeouts. Shut down these jammers last Saturday at home. First pitch to Wells upstairs, gets off the glove of Conley, but not far enough to advance. Conley will go out and talk to Valiamont. It's 4 straight out of the zone since the first 2 to McKenna were in the zone. In that game last Saturday against Jamestown, Martinez went 6, 5 hits, 1 run, 3 walks, struck out 10 to up his strikeout total to 45. When he left that game, the Pilots had a 13-1 lead. 9 runs across the final 3 frames, and Jamestown ended up with the tying run at the plate, but the Pilots escaped with the win, ending Jamestown's 11-game winning streak. Since then, they're just 2-5. Hackbarth off first takes a big secondary lead. Second pitch to Hunter Wells misses upstairs again. Counts 2-0. So 6 straight out of the zone from Chris Valiamont. Here to Hunter Wells, and a righty has started in the jammer pen. Valiamont working from the stretch. Puts glove in hand, or hand in glove. Now steps off. Paying very close attention to Graham at first. Already has a stolen base on the night. Just his 3rd on the year. So not a huge threat to steal, as Valiamont has struggled to find the zone here since retiring McKenna. 7 straight have missed, and Wells has a 3-0 count. Have to imagine Hunter will be taking all the way after 7 straight out of the zone. The switch-hitting third baseman batting from the left side. Hackbarth off of first. Big leg kick to 3-0. Upstairs, ball 4. 8 straight out of the zone. And back-to-back walks from Valiamont has put the first 2 runners on. And we're going to have a call to the bullpen. Chris Valiamont's night is over. 4 1/3, walks 3, gives up 4 hits, 2 runs, and strikes out 7. It'll be a righty out of the pen for the Jamestown Jammers ahead of the at-bat to Willalaca Newark with a 2-1 lead here in Jamestown. We'll be right back. So the new pitcher is Isaac Meza, 6'3", 235 from Valencia, California, and California State Bakersfield. He will work to Will Alaka. First pitch, takes high, ball one. So new pitcher, same result. 9 straight out of the zone from Jammers pitchers. And the count on Will is 1-0. Hackbarth and Wells both worked 4-pitch walks. Now Alaka swinging. Ground ball to Estrada. 1. Return throw. Pulls Brookover off the bag. So vying for an around-the-horn double play. Wells retired on the fielder's choice 5-4 at second. Bernick's throw from second not in time. And there's runners on the corners with 2 outs for Over Torres, who has struck out looking for his 31st and 32nd strikeouts of the night. Meza is working in his 13th game, working from the stretch with the runners on the corners. First pitch swinging is Torres, fouls this one off his foot. Count is 1-0. In 12 previous games, 15 2/3 innings, 12 hits, 7 runs, 4 earned, 4 walks, 13 Ks. He has a save and a 2.29 earned run average for the Jamestown Jammers. From the stretch, the pitch bounced. Conley, no throw down to Alaka, will try to throw behind Hackbarth. He's back in safely. Should be a stolen base for Will. If it is, it's his 7th. And he has not been caught. Alaka reached on a fielder's choice after Chris Valiamont was pulled. It's a 1-1 count to Over Torres. 1-1, taken up and in. Counts 2 balls and a strike. It was a swinging strike on the pitch that Alaka ended up moving to second. The 2-1. Lined into left. This is going to be a base hit. Hackbarth's going to score. Alaka round second. He'll score. Torres is going to head to second. It should be a 2-run double, and the Pilots have their score. It's 4-1. So Alaka and Hackbarth come around to score on the 2-run double from Torres, and it's 4-1. First run charged to the starter Valiamont, so his book is closed. As Parker comes up to the dish, he is also 0 for 2 tonight. First pitch checks his swing and takes strike 1. This one is bounced. And the count is even at a ball and a strike to Parker. The Pilots catcher. The 1-1. Grounded slowly up the middle. O'Donnell will charge. He will fire to first. Throw pulls Brookover off the bag, but he slaps the tag on Parker for out number 3. But the Pilots get 2 more. 2 runs on 1 hit by Over Torres. No errors and 1 man left on base. We head to the bottom of the 5th. Will Frank back on the mound. The Pilots have a 4-1 lead. Will Frank back on the mound will face the top of the Jammers order. Another shutdown inning opportunity. Over Torres drives in 2 with a 2-run double in the top half of this 5th to double the Pilots' score. They lead it 4-1. It'll be Chris Connolly, Chris Steffel, and Ben Brookover against Will Frank, the Canisius College freshman. First pitch swinging. Conley goes the other way. This ball is going to find grass. Loeffler's not going to get there. Conley's going to round first. He is in to second with his 13th double of the year. So 1 pitch, and Jamestown has their leadoff man in scoring position. Parker will go out and talk to Will Frank after the 1-pitch double to his Canisius teammate Conley. Will Frank will work from the stretch to Chris Steffel. First pitch gets the outside corner. Counts 0-1. Steffel 1 for 2 tonight, singled in the first and struck out swinging in the third. That single or the double, was the 6th hit of the night for the Jammers. Count is now 1-1. 1-1 way outside. Count is 2-1 on Steffel, the freshman designated hitter from St. John's. Frank comes set from the stretch. This one lined into center. McKenna, good jump. He will leap and make the play for out number 1. So the smooth fielding, Mark McKenna, makes another one look easy. And there's 1 away.
Now, first baseman number 30,
So after the leadoff first pitch double to Conley, Steffel retired on the lineout. And that'll bring up Ben Brookover. Brookover, the junior from the University of Texas at San Antonio, is 0 for 2 tonight. First pitch, breaking ball. Misses. Counts a ball and 2 strikes. Frank comes set from the stretch. The 1-2. Popped up. Alaka and Torres over will give it a look. It will land off the top of the bleachers at a play. And the count is even at a ball and a strike. The 1-1 misses low. And the count is 2-1 on Will Frank. Will Frank about to throw his 77th pitch of the night here on this 2-1 count to Ben Brookover. Bounced. Count is 3-1. So a hitter's count for the man with the most hits in the perfect game league. Leads with 50. He's 0 for 2 tonight against Pilots pitching. The 3-1. Lined into right. Torres started in. This ball is over his head. Brookover's going to round first. He's heading to second. Conley's going to round second. He's heading home. It's an RBI double for Ben Brookover on a misplayed ball in right by Over Torres. And it's 4-2. His second run, 2 doubles in the inning. Brookover takes over for him, and that's going to lead to a mound visit. Before the at-bat to Skylar Valentine. It's now 4-2 as Coach Schiltz talking to Will Frank and Jonathan Parker on the mound. Two doubles sandwiched in between a line out to McKenna has driven in the second run for the Jamestown Jammers. Four runs, 4 hits for Newark. 2 runs, 7 hits, 1 error for Jamestown. Will Frank from the stretch looks back at Brookover. First pitch is bounced. Counts 1-0. Valentine 1 for 2 tonight. Drove in the game's first run with an RBI single back in the bottom of the first. The 1-0. Bounced. Count is 2-0. No one warming up in the Pilots' pen as of now. The 2-0. The 81st pitch of the night, fired in for strike 1 to Valentine. 81 pitches this far for Will Frank. Seems like a lot through 4 1/3, but this is a man who's thrown 127 pitches in one game for the Pilots. The 2-1 is bounced. And the count is 3 balls and a strike. So working himself into some trouble here in this bottom of the 5th. From the stretch, the 3-1. Lined foul, and the count is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Newark actually has 5 hits, not 4. It says 5 on the scoreboard out here, but on the point streak system, they still have not given Over Torres a double. Still says that at-bat is going on. The payoff pitch popped up. Alaka over. No chance as this one will land foul off the bleachers along the first base side. And the count is full. Three balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. 1 run home in the inning. The payoff pitch. Line into right center field. Torres over. He will dive and he will make the play in right center to rob Valentine of extra bases. Off the bat, thought that one was going to be trouble. Makes up for his misplay with a great diving play. So that strand keeps Brookover at second. And it'll bring up Chris Estrada. Right-handed swinging third baseman, 0 for 2. Jamestown has scored a run after the Pilots got 2 in their half of this 5th. First pitch swinging popped up. McKenna started back. He will now sprint in. He will let Hackbarth make the play in short center field for out number 3. But Jamestown gets a run. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, 1 man left on base. We play 5, the Pilots, with a 4-2 lead here in Jamestown. 7, 8, and 9 here for the Pilots in the top of the 6th. First pitch, Colton Carney checks his swing. Tim Adams is going to ask if he went around. Base umpire Gary Benton says, no, sir, he did not. And the count's 1-0. Pilots got 2 on a 2-out double from Over Torres in the top half as Carney swings and misses to go up 4-1. It was a 2-out double. Pilots have scored all 4 of their runs with 2 outs. In the bottom of the 2nd, a leadoff double and a 1-out double drove in the Jammers' 2nd run to make it 4-2 with 1 out as Carney takes strike 2. A pitch from Skylar Valentine that was lined into right center field. Over Torres came out and made up for his blunder on the Brookover double with a great diving play to rob Valentine of a hit, and then Will Frank stranded the 2nd runner on 2nd. So it's a 4-2 game in the top of the 6th. Meza from the stretch, the 2-2. Grounded to 3rd, foul. Count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two. Just gets a piece off the end of the bat. And we'll do it again. The 2-2. Off speed, swung on and missed. Carney way out in front, and there's 1 away. So Carney down on strikes for the 2nd time tonight. He is 1 for 3.
Now back to left field number 5, Josh Walker.
That'll bring up Josh Loeffler. Right-handed swinging left fielder. Has reached base both times he has stepped to the plate. Squares to bunt, gets it down, bunting for a base hit, but bunts right back to Meza, who fires a strike that beats Loeffler to first for out number 2.
Now back to second base number 8, Zach Santoro.
So Loeffler retired, and there's 2 away. Santoro lines this first pitch the other way, stack onto a slide, makes the play in right to rob Santoro of a hit. So some great defensive plays here through the first 5.5 innings in Jamestown. Pilots go 1, 2, 3 here in the top of the 6th. We head to the bottom half. Newark doubling up Jamestown. They lead 4-2. So Will Frank's night is over. He goes 5, gives up 7 hits, 2 runs, both earned, walks 1, and strikes out 5. Bullpen roulette time for the Pilots. Swing, spin the wheel, and it's reliever number 30. It's Zach Mann, 6'4", from Union, Kentucky, and Saginaw Valley State. He'll work to 6, 7, and 8. First pitch to Colin Stack, who has struck out twice against Will Frank. Count is 0-1. Will Frank leaves in line to pick up his first win. Pilots will have to get 12 outs from their bullpen to secure this one. Count is quickly 0-2 to Stack. From the windup, the 0-2. Grounded to Hackbarth. He will wait on it, play it on a hop. Strong throw to first. Big stretch by Alaka. Beats Stack to the bag, and there's 1 away. Zach Mann has not pitched since Saturday when he came on in relief of Will Frank or Sunday when he came on in relief of Will Frank against Elmira. In 3 innings, gave up 10 hits, 9 earned, 2 walks, and a strikeout. The batter is Alex O'Donnell. He is 1 for 2 tonight. Zach Mann from the windup. First pitch upstairs, ball 1. Called strike 2 to Alex O'Donnell. Or make that called strike 1, the 1-1. Outside, counts 2-1. Man working on in relief of Will Frank, who started this game for the Pilots. This one is bounced, gets all the way to the screen, hits off Parker's inside leg. He'll go out and walk that one out to Mann. Counts 3-1 to O'Donnell. Zach, in 15 previous games, appearing in his 16th, which leads the Pilots. 29 in the 3rd innings, 34 hits, 24 runs, 21 of those earned. He's walked 14. He struck out 31. He's 2-2 with a 6.44 earned run average. From the windup, the 3-1. O'Donnell squares the bunt, pulls it back, and takes strike 2. The count is full to the jammer shortstop. O'Donnell, who's 1 for 2 with a single and a strikeout, and has made an error on defense. The payoff pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Zach Mann goes off speed to retire O'Donnell. There's 2 away. As the left-handed swinging left fielder Christian Deaton steps up to the plate. Deaton digs in. He is also 1 for 2. A fly out, a single, and a stolen base. First pitch from Zach Mann gets the outside corner. Counts 0-1. As we touch 5 o'clock here on the East Coast in Jamestown, New York. The farthest west the Pilots will go this year. The 0-1. Breaking ball. This one misses low. Counts 1-1. The 6th game of this 6-game road trip before the All-Star break. 3-2 in the previous 5. The 1-1. Counts 1-2. By the time the bus stops in Colburn Park tonight after the game, traveled 1,434 miles in the 6-day span. The 1-2. Poked up the middle. Hackbarth over. Will make the play. He'll catch it in the air for out number 3. So Zach Mann comes in out of the pen. Gets the Jammers 1, 2, 3 to end the 6th. We head to the 7th. When the Pilots take their swings and look up at the scoreboard, they'll see a 4-2 lead here at Dietrich Park. Isaac Mesa back on the mound, his third inning in relief, has given up a 2-run double in his first inning and a third, has struck out a batter. Will face Mark McKenna, Graham Hackbarth, and Hunter Wells, the top of the order for the Pilots. First pitch swinging, pops this one up to deep right center field. Stack over, Valentine over. Valentine will make the play in front of the 414 sign in right center for out number 1. So a loud out number 1 from Mark McKenna. He's retired. He's 0 for 4. And that'll bring up Graham Hackbarth. As a Wasp has entered this press box here in Jamestown, trying to attack me up in the booth. First pitch to Graham Hackbarth. Takes inside for ball 1. The 1-0. It's a called strike 1. The 1-1. Lined. Estrada will take it on a hot fire across the diamond to retire Hackbarth. So a little bit of an excuse me pick from Estrada at third. Closed his eyes and the ball just magically appeared in his glove for out number 2. Mesa set. First pitch to Wells. Swinging. Lined to Brookover. He will play it on a knee, and he will touch the bag at first to end the inning. Mesa throws 6 pitches and gets the Pilots 1, 2, 3 here in the top of the 7th. We head to the bottom half. Pilots with a 4-2 lead. Bottom of the 7th inning, Isaac Mesa and Zach Mann, the 2 big 6'4" right-handers, playing a little game of cat and mouse. Bottom or top of the 6th, Mesa gets the Pilots 1, 2, 3. Zach Mann in the bottom half of the 6th comes in his first inning of relief and says, anything you can do, I can do. Gets them 1, 2, 3. And then top of the 7th, Mesa goes 1, 2, 3 again. So now it's Zach's man turn to answer the card. It's a swinging strike by the number 9 hole hitter, Nick Burnick. On an off speed. It was foul tipped into Parker's glove. It'll be 9, 1, and 2 for the Jammers here in this half inning in the bottom of the 7th. Count is a ball and a strike. Nick Burnick is 1 for 2 with a single and a strikeout. That was against Will Frank. The 1-1. Off speed. Off the plate. Count is 2 balls and a strike. Zach Mann working from his windup. The Union Kentucky right-hander. The 2-1 swung on and missed. Went off speed again. Fools Burnick again. And the count is even at 2 and 2. 2-2. Bounced. And the count is full. The payoff pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Burnick down swinging for out number 1. So Zach Mann wins battle number 1. And that will bring up Chris Conley, left-handed swinging catcher. 1 for 2 tonight with a double and has scored 2 runs. Has scored both of them on the scoreboard for the Jammers. 4 runs, 5 hits, no errors for Newark. 2 runs, 7 hits, 1 error for the Jammers. From the windup, first pitch to Conley is bounced. And the count is 1-0. Will Frank started this one, went 5. Gave up 7 hits, 2 runs, struck out 5. Since then, Zach Mann has got the first 4 batters he's faced retired. Count is now 2-0 on Conley. He struck out 2, and then a ground out to Hackworth and a line out to Hackworth. He's working from the windup to the league's most dangerous hitter. The 2-1. Count is 2 balls and 1 strike. The 2-1. Lined up the middle. It's going to be a base hit. Chris Conley on base for the 3rd time tonight as Chris Steffel comes up to the plate. Conley's 2 for 3. Now, Chris Conley, 2nd in the league in average, 1st in on-base percentage, leads the league in walks by 14. He's 4th in the league in hits. Top 4 in the league in home runs, but could argue he's not the leader for the MVP so far this year in the Collegiate League, the Perfect Game League. His teammate at Canisius, Liam Wilson, who plays for Amsterdam, sat out against us, leads 2 of the 3 triple categories and is just an RBI away from leading all 3. Leads the league in average home runs and second in RBIs. It's a 2-0 count on Chris Steffel. So the 2 Canisius kids would have to imagine whose ever team finishes with a better record would get the crown. Ground ball to Santoro. He goes to his right. Throw pulls Hackbarth off the bag. Tried to get the lead runner. He does not. And we'll see if they give Santoro an error. And that'll bring up Ben Brookover with the tying run on first. Here, 1 out in the bottom of the 7th. Conley moves up to 2nd on the throwing error. The first error of the night for the Pilots. First pitch to Brookover. High, ball 1. Drove in a run with a double. His his last time up on a play that Torres misplayed and right. Cost the Pilots a run. It's 4-2. We're in the bottom of the 7th. Man comes set. The 1-0. Low, counts 2-0. After retiring the first 4 batters he's faced, a single and then a throwing error by Conley and Steffel. Now the batter is Brookover. Pops this one up, foul out of play. Count goes to 2 balls and a strike. Zach Mann on the mound in his 2nd inning of relief. Pilots lead this game 4-2. We're in the bottom of the 7th with 1 out. Ben Brookover at the plate with runners on 1st and 2nd. Tying run for the Jammers. Leads off first. That's Chris Steffel. Brookover against Zach Mann. The right-handed hitting first baseman, the 2-1. Misses inside and counts 3-1. Zach Mann a pitch away from loading up the bases. Working from the stretch, toes the first base side of the rubber. Looks in at the catcher, Jonathan Parker. The 3-1. Grounded up the middle. Hackbarth over. Will not make the play. This ball goes into center. McKenna will charge. Conley rounds third. He'll score. The throw cut off. It should be an RBI single for Ben Brookover. Would be his second of the day. As Steffel moves up, it's 4-3. Still just one away. And that brings up Skylar Valentine. He's 1 for 3 tonight. And now Bennett Schultz on the mound to talk with Mann and Parker. An important at-bat, the tying run on second. That's Chris Steffel. Chris Conley scores his third run of the game. He has all 3 runs for the Jammers. He leads the league with 41 runs. Leads his team by 10 runs. Or leads his team by more than 10 runs. It's an RBI single for Ben Brookover. So he picks up his second RBI as Steffel moves up to second. First pitch to Valentine, swung on and missed at a pitch in the dirt. Counts on 1. So the error comes back to bite the Pilots, although if Zach Santoro just makes that throw to first, the run would have scored anyway on the single, which was slowly hit up the middle. Now this one up the middle. McKenna will charge. Steffel going to be held at third as McKenna fires a strike this time that was cut off by Alaka, and the bases are loaded. Still just 1 out. It's 4-3. Now the go-ahead run in scoring position as Chris Estrada steps up. Estrada leads the league with 32 RBIs. He has 2 ducks on the pond. And Zach Mann's night is over. It's going to be Henry Martinez when we get back. He'll work with the bases loaded and just 1 out. So Zach Mann goes an inning and a third, 3 hits, 1 run for now. Leaves with the bases loaded. He struck out 2. Bullpen roulette time, spin the wheel. It's starting pitcher turned reliever number 15, Henry Martinez. Will be asked with a tough task to strand the bases loaded. Here in the bottom of the 7th and keep the Pilots ahead. After the first batter struck out, the number 9 hole hitter Nick Burnick, A single by Conley, a throwing error by Zach Santoro allows Conley to move up to second. Although if Santoro just gets the out at first, the easy play, Conley moves up to second anyway, and he scores. The second run, or the runner on third, probably not there, and there's 2 outs. But you can't assume. As Henry Martinez digs in, his first relief appearance after starting 6 games. First pitch to Estrada. Misses high, strike 1, or ball 1. Estrada is 0 for 3 tonight. Martinez, 35 innings, 31 hits, 10 runs, 9 earned, 15 walks, 45 Ks. He's 2-2 with a 2.31 ERA. The 1-0. Lined up the middle, almost gets him into center field. 1 run will score. Everyone else moves up 90 feet as McKenna's throw comes all the way home, and this game is tied. Brookover and Valentine both move up. It's an RBI single for Chris Estrada. Extends his league lead to 33. And we're right back where we started, tied at 4. And that'll bring up Colin Stack. Right-handed swinging right fielder is 0 for 3 tonight. Corner infielders are in middle infield in double play depth. From the stretch. First pitch from Martinez. Upstairs, ball 1. Jamestown has tied this one up on 4 hits and an error. Off speed, Stack swung at, or out in front. Foul tips this one off his front foot. Add the 1 in the out column, and there's 1s across the top of the scoreboard. Colin Stack, the hitter, 0 for 3 tonight. Has struck out twice. Martinez from the stretch, the 1-1. Swung on and missed. Counts 1-2. Martinez working from the stretch in his first relief appearance. Sets the 1-2. Off speed, strike 3, Stack down, looking for out number 2. Martinez's 2.31 ERA ranks 5th in the perfect game league, and his strikeouts rank him 1st. He's an all-star for the West, and he's appearing in his first game since last Saturday against these same Jammers. Alex O'Donnell, the 8th hitter of the inning, comes up and takes low ball 1. The 1-0. At the knees, a strike called from Martinez, and we're even at a ball and a strike. O'Donnell is 1 for 3, a single sandwiched in between 2 strikeouts. Time called by O'Donnell. Ahead of the 1-1. The 1-1. Foul tipped off the glove of Martinez, then off the chest of Tim Adams. And Martinez is quickly ahead 1-2. 4-4 game here in the bottom of the 7th. Martinez way ahead in the count, looking to strand the bases loaded. The 1-2. Swung on and missed. Strike 3, inning over. The Pilots strike out the side in the bottom of the 7th, but Jamestown comes back and ties this one up. 2 runs, 4 hits, 1 error in the inning, and the bases are left loaded. We head to the 8th, right back where we started, tied here at Dietrich Park in Jamestown, New York. 4, 5, and 6 for the Pilots, who come up to the plate tied. First time the Pilots take their swings without the lead since the top of the third. Isaac Meza back on the mound. Zach Mann starts the last inning, pulled after 5 batters. Henry Martinez comes in, gives up 1 run on a single, then strikeouts the next 2. First pitch is a called strike 1 to Alaka, who's 0 for 3 tonight. We're tied at 4. Top of the 8th. 0-1 lined into left. D and over. He will make the play for out number 1. So Alaka retired. He's 0 for 4. And that'll bring up Over Torres. Struck out looking twice and hit a 2-run double. The right-handed swinging right fielder. The second baseman, Nick Burnick, playing basically up the middle. So a mini shift on for Over Torres here in the 8th. He's 1 for 3. First pitch fouled back, counts 0-1. Top of the 8th here at Russell E. Dietrich Park in Jamestown, New York. Jamestown Jammers and Newark Pilots. Pilots in the final game of this 6-game road trip. The 0-1. Off speed, swung on and missed by Torres. Counts 0-2. Martinez throws just 10 pitches in to 3 batters in that bottom of the 7th. The 0-2. Taken, high, tough take by Torres. Counts a ball and 2 strikes. 4 runs, 5 hits, 1 error for Newark. 4 runs, 11 hits, 1 error for Jamestown. Strike 3, Torres down, leading for the 3rd time tonight. 2 away. 9 straight batters retired by Meza, and that'll bring up Jonathan Parker, who is 0 for 3 tonight. The Pilots catcher from Jones County Junior College and the future Louisiana Tech Bulldog. Meza from the stretch. First pitch outside, bowling. Parker's 0 for 3. Meza has retired 9 in a row, 2 on strikes, since giving up that double to Torres. The 1-0. Line to right. Pass the glove of Burnick. At second, it's going to be a base hit for Parker, who takes his turnaround first and will head back. Parker's 1 for 4, and that'll bring up Colton Carney. Has a single sandwiched in between 2 strikeouts, and now a mound visit upcoming ahead of this at-bat to Colton Carney. He's also stolen 2 bases for his 7th and 8th on the year, has not been caught. Chris Conley will join the visit on the mound to Isaac Meza. The single by Parker breaks a string of 9 straight Pilots retired by Isaac Meza, since letting the first 2 batters reach since he came in. Jamestown tied us up at 4 in the bottom of the 7th. So Will Frank, after going 5 innings of just 2 runs, will not pick up his first win of the year. Zach Mann, with the blown save in the bottom of the 7th, allows 2 runs, just 1 earned. Wasn't helped out by his defense, as if Zach Santoro tried to get the lead runner at second, throw pulled Graham Hackworth off the bag. If he just makes the throw at first, there's 2 away, and then on the single by Brookover, Conley still would have scored anyway, but that second run, Steffel may not have scored. Colton Carney will dig in. Parker leads off first, 2 away. Top of the 8th. First pitch swung on and popped up. Burnick over. Stack in. Burnick will call for it. He will make the play in short right field for out number 3. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and the 2 out single is wasted. We head to the bottom of the 8th, all tied up at 4. 8th, 9, and the top of the order for the Jamestown Jammers here in the bottom of the 8th. One out, or a 2-out single from Jonathan Parker was stranded when Colton Carney popped out for the final out of the last inning. It'll be Deaton Burnick and Chris Conley. First pitch from Martinez misses outside, ball 1. Martinez came on in relief of Zach Mann, who left with the bases loaded. Martinez gave up a single on the second pitch he threw to Chris Estrada to tie this game up, and then struck out the next 2 batters to extend his league lead to 47. Count now even at a ball and a strike to Christian Deaton, left-handed swinging left fielder from California State University at Bakersfield. The 1-1, way outside, counts 2-1. Is 1 for 3 with a stolen base tonight. Tied at 4 here in the bottom of the 8th. The 2-1. Lined into the glove of Hunter Wills at third for out number 1. Perfectly positioned, did not even have to move. Deaton retired for the 3rd time. He's 1 for 4. And that will bring up a pinch hitter. It's Jimmy Standahar. Number 29 from Girard, Ohio, and Mercyhurst. Standahar 5th in the league with 13 stolen bases, and 5th in the league with 29 runs, and 5th in the league with a .364 batting average. He'll be representing the Western Division and the Jamestown Jammers. The All-Star game, squares the bunt, pulls it back, and takes ball 1. Burnick leaves, he went 1 for 3, and made the final out in the top of the 8th. Count is even at a ball and a strike to Standahar. The pinch hitter. He has 36 hits in 99 at-bats. The 1-1. Squares the bunt. Gets this one down, but foul. Counts a ball and 2 strikes. The 1-2. Hits him. Tried to spin out of the way. Gets him on the elbow. Over the strike zone. Parker going to ask and say he leaned into it. Tim Adams not buying what he's selling. And the pinch hitter, Standahar, works the hit by pitch. So Martinez, who was ahead in the count, a ball and 2 strikes. Loses him on the hit by pitch. As the leadoff man, Chris Conley will step in. Hit 2 home runs in the loss to Geneva last night. He has reached base 3 times tonight, and he scored 3 of the 4 Jammers runs. A single, a double, and a walk. Alaka holding on Standahar at first. First pitch, Conley takes for strike 1. Conley was 0 for 5 in week and 0 for 3 against Martinez. Martinez throws over. Standahar is a threat to steal over at first. He's stolen 13 in 17 attempts. He represents the go-ahead run. Martinez working from the stretch. Comes set. The 0-1. Off speed, low. Parker will hold it there. No luck. Counts even at a ball and a strike. Standahar leads off first, being held on by Will Alaka. Chris Conley at the dish. From the stretch, the 1-1. Off speed, at the knees, called strike. Martinez ahead in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Conley steps out ahead of the 1-2 to look down at his third base coach for a sign. Standahar leads off first. Conley at the plate. The catcher hitting from the left side against Henry Martinez. Chris Steffel waits on deck. Martinez comes set. The 1-2. Popped up. McKenna in, Hackbarth back. McKenna will get there. He will make the play for out number 2. So Conley flies out to his Canisius teammate, McKenna, for the second time tonight. He's 2 for 4. And that'll bring up Chris Steffel, left-handed swinging designated hitter. He is 1 for 4 tonight. Martinez looking to strand that runner Standahar at first. First pitch to Steffel. Outside, ball 1. Standahar, who pinch hit for Burnick, reached on a hit by pitch. He leads at first, throw over by Martinez. Standahar not going anywhere this time. Is a threat to steal, has stolen 13 bases in 17 attempts. Martinez comes set, the pitch. Steffel checks his swing. Ball gets away from Parker. Standahar heads down to second. They're going to say Steffel did not go around on that one, and the count's 2-0. They're saying he did not go around. Our Standahar moves up to second, so the tying run is in scoring position. Martinez from the stretch. The 2-0. Called strike 1. So maybe a little bit of a makeup call from Tim Maddox, as it appeared Steffel went around, but he said he did not. The 2-1. Bounced in front of Parker. Standahar will have to stay put at second. And the count is 3-1. So a good hitter's count for Chris Steffel, who was 1 for 4 tonight with a run scored. The 3-1. Steffel ready to throw his bat towards the dugout, baffled at the call, and the count is full. Martinez looking to strand that runner. Steffel steps out. The payoff pitch taken. Martinez started towards the dugout, looked to be in the same spot as the strike calls, but it's ball 4, so runners on first and second for Ben Brookover. He's 2 for his last 2. Both of his last 2 hits have gone for RBIs. He's 2 for 4. With the go-ahead run on second. The leading hitman in the league has 52. First time facing Martinez. First pitch is bounced, blocked by Parker. Now it's 1-0. As Parker will go out and talk to Henry on the mound. Parker heads back behind home plate. An important batter here for Henry Martinez, with runners on first and second and 2 away, looking to keep this game tied as we head to the ninth. The 1-0. Fouled back. We will do it again. Count is even. At a ball and a strike. To Ben Brookover, 2 for 4 tonight. has driven in 2 runs for his 28th and 29th RBIs of the year. The 1-1. Popped up. Torres and Alaka back. This ball will land into the Pilots' dugout. Kyle Griffin makes the play out there. And Martinez is a strike away from getting out of this one. The starter turned reliever on in his 2nd inning of work has allowed 2 batters to reach here with 2 outs. A pitch away from stranding the runners. The 1-2. High. Counts even at 2-2. Add the 2 in the out column and the 2 runners on base. And we got deuces wild here in the bottom of the 8th. Martinez looking to keep this game tied at 4. Jamestown tied us up in the bottom of the 7th with 2 runs. The 2-2. Swung on, grounded up the middle. This is going to be a base hit. Standahar is going to round third. The throw from McKenna will be cut off. It's an RBI single for Ben Brookover. And all of a sudden, the Pilots are down to their final 3 outs. It's the 3rd straight RBI base hit for Ben Brookover. The pinch hitter, Standahar, comes around to score. Steffel moves up to 2nd, and it's 5-4. Jammers lead. And now we're going to get a pinch runner on 2nd. That's going to be number 6, John Conti, taking over for the designated hitter, Steffel. So a little more speed on the base paths for the Jammers. Conti, a junior from Niagara Falls and Canisius. Martinez looks back at him. First pitch, taken high, ball 1. Thought we were going to be out on the inning on a 3-2 off-speed pitch from Martinez that looked like it was going to be strike 3, extended it, and then a 2-2 single up the middle by Brookover broke the 4-2 tie. Martinez drops in a breaking ball, and the count is even at a ball and a strike. 1 run home in this half inning. Jamestown has taken the lead for the first time since the 1st on a 2-out single from Brookover. His 3rd single of the night, or his 3rd RBI of the night. The 1-1 taken on the outside corner. Strike 2. The Pilots will have 8, 9, and 1 in their order. In the bottom half of this inning, or in the top half of the night. All of a sudden, they're down to their final 3 outs. Martinez comes set. The 1-2. Outside, we're even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Skylar Valentine at the plate. The 2-2. Inside, Martinez started towards the dugout. So did Hackbarth at Wells, and the count is full. And that will start the runners on the base paths. So Conti and Brookover at 2nd and 1st will get a head start as a payoff pitch upcoming from Henry Martinez. Tim Adams shrunk here in the bottom of the 8th. Now, Parker and Valentine going at it in the box. Tim Adams has to go out and step in between the 2 of them. Alaka, the first baseman, started towards home, and now the 3rd base coach for Jamestown will call Skylar Valentine away. Martinez has to be calmed down too, and I'm not happy with the way Tim Adams' strike zone has shrunk here in the bottom of the 8th. Pilots once led this game 4-1. Since then, the lead has evaporated. Jamestown leads 5-4. The payoff pitch from Martinez turns around. Conti back in safely. Knows the runners are going on this full count pitch. Comes set. The payoff pitch. Lined to Hackbarth. Bobbles it. He will not make the play as Valentine's going to reach. It was scored an error when O'Donnell bobbled it short to start the game. Should be an error on Hackbarth, and it is. And the bases are loaded.
Now for that base number 16,
for Chris Estrada. Tied us up at 4 in the bottom of the 7th with an RBI single. His league-leading 33rd. Takes outside from Martinez. Counts 1-0. The 1-0. Lined into center field. McKenna on. He will make the play for out number 3. But Jamestown takes the lead. 1 run, 1 hit, 1 error, and the bases are left loaded. All of a sudden, the Pilots are down to their final 3 outs tonight. They'll have 8, 9, and 1. We head to the 9th. When the Pilots look up and take their lead swings, they'll see a deficit of 5-4 here in Jamestown. So Colin Johnston, right-hander, 6'1" from Rochester, New York, and Monroe Community College, the all-star for the Jammers, looking to save this game, pick up his 5th save, and get the final 3 outs here in the bottom of, or the top of the 9th. It'll be Loeffler, Santoro, McKenna, if anyone gets on Hackbarth. Here in the 9th for the Pilots. They surrendered their lead on a RBI single from Ben Brookover, his 3rd RBI of the game, to give Jamestown a 5-4 lead. Pilots are down to their final 3 outs. First pitch from Johnston, ball 1. Loeffler is 1 for 2 tonight. Johnston, 15 appearances, 26 in the 3rd, 22 hits, just 2 runs, both earned. 8 walks, 18 strikeouts. He's 1-1, 4 saves, and has an 0.68 ERA. Called strike to Loeffler. Count is a ball and a strike. The 1-1. Lined up the middle. The Pilots have their leadoff man on here to start the 9th. The tying run is at first. Pinch hitter Jimmy Standahar stays in and takes over at second for Nick Burnick. And now Zach Santoro at the plate. Loeffler leads off first, third baseman, and Estrada way in. Squares the bunt, pulls it back, and takes high for ball 1. Santoro is 0 for 3 tonight. Loeffler leads off first. He's 2 for 3. Santoro looking to move Loeffler into scoring position for the top of the order. The 1-0 bunt sign off. He takes outside. Counts 2-0. To the Pilots' second baseman, Santoro. Top of the ninth here in Jamestown. Pilots trail 5-4. Got the leadoff man on with a single, looking to extend this game. Johnson comes set the 2-0, squares the bunt, pulls it back, and takes high. Ball 3. So Santoro quickly ahead in the count 3-0. As the manager stands up in front of the Jamestown dugout, not happy with the way Tim Adams has strike zone has shrunk for his team. Got to call it both ways. So Johnston comes set from the stretch. 3-0, squares the bunt, pulls it back, and takes high. Ball 4. The first 2 base runners have reached here in the top of the 9th. And that'll bring up Mark McKenna. 0 for 4 tonight. 3rd on the team in hits, 4th on the team in RBIs. Has 3 sacrifice bunts, and Franklin Bush going to call him over for a verbal sign. Here as Conley went out to talk to Johnston. Loeffler reached on a single, and Santoro reached on a 4-pitch walk. So the tying run on second for Mark McKenna. Third baseman Estrada in. First baseman Brookover in. Johnston from the stretch. McKenna squares the bunt. Gets it down the third base line. Estrada will charge. Only play to first. He makes it. It's a sac bunt. 5-3. And the tying runs at third. So McKenna does his job. And that'll bring up Graham Hackworth. Has an RBI already in this game. Batting gloves on. He's 1 for 3. First pitch. Almost nicks him. Counts 1-0. As Hackbarth's going to go out, and we're going to get a pinch runner. Santoro's night looks like it's going to be over. Santoro works a walk, moves up to second, and he is going to be replaced by Christian Orr to pinch run. The last time this combination happened was Friday night in Elmira. Christian Orr would come around to score the tying run at 16 and then momentarily drove in the go-ahead run in the 10th before the Pilots got walked off on in the bottom half. We're looking to tie this one up here in the 9th. Hackbarth at the plate, so a little more speed. Substitute Orr for Santoro. Loeffler leads off there. 2 runners in scoring position. It's a 1-0 count to Hackbarth. Outside, ball 2. So besides for the McKenna bunt, which was a strike, 6 straight have missed. The 2-0. Popped up. Playable in right field. Stack will hold up as the ball lands in front of the Pilots' dugout. So playable, but if you catch that one in the air, it's an easy tag for Loeffler. So a smart decision to pull up on the ball. Hackbarth still ahead. Counts 2-1. Orr off second, the pinch runner. Loeffler off third. Tying run 90 feet away. The 2-1 to Hackbarth. Outside, ball 3. Now the Jamestown faithful here in the top of the 9th getting upset as the strike zone has shrunk. Learning what Martinez and Parker were going through. The 3-1, outside, ball 4, and the bases are loaded. The second walk of the inning, and the manager heading out to the mound for the Jamestown Jammers. Ahead of this at-bat to Hunter Wells. Already has an RBI double in this one. He is 1 for 3. He's driven in 14 runs on the year. The switch hitter, he'll bat from the left against Johnston, who's loaded the bases up. Loeffler singled. Santoro worked a bunt. McKenna bunted the two of them over. Then on a 1-0 count to Hackbarth, Santoro was replaced for Christian Orr on the base paths. So it's Hackbarth on first after the walk, Orr on second, the go-ahead run, and the tying run, Loeffler on third. It'll be Hunter Wells, 1 for 3 tonight with a double, a strikeout, and a walk. Kyle Griffin walking around the Pilots bullpen, hoping for a chance to pitch. Johnston has worked himself into trouble. 1 out, top of the 9th. First pitch to Wells. Swung on, grounded, over the head of Brookover. This game is tied. 4 rounds third. He's going to score. It's 6-5. Pilots have taken the lead. So Orr comes around to score the go-ahead run. Loeffler the tying run. Should be an RBI single for Wells, but we'll wait to see how they score it. The Pilots lead 6-5 as Alaka comes up. They're going to give that an error to the first baseman. So Wells robbed of 2 RBIs on that one. So he doesn't get any of those RBIs, but either way, it works in the Pilots' favor. It's 6-5, Pilots lead. The young one popped up by Alaka. Foul territory. Standahar over. He will make the play. Hackbarth's going to tag. He is the throw. Not in time. It's 7-5 as Hunt also. It's a sacrifice pop out in short right field foul territory. And the Pilots lead 7-5. So Alaka gets the RBI. Hackbarth tags. Hackbarth scores his 3rd run of the night. Wells is now up at second. And the batter is Over Torres. Struck out looking 3 times, but also has an RBI double. Hunter off second. Pilots lead by 2. Griffin is standing in the Pilots' pen, but has not started throwing. Torres takes strike 1. It's an RBI sacrifice fly for Alaka. The 0-1 grounded to the left side. O'Donnell on a slide, throw to first. Not in time. It's an infield single for Over Torres. And we're going to keep going here in the 9th. So Torres beats out the single. He's 2 for 5. And that brings up Jonathan Parker. Wells moves up to 3rd. As the 8th Pilot in the inning will step to the plate. A great play by O'Donnell to keep that ball in the infield. But the throw just not in time to beat the Pilots' right fielder. Parker now looking to extend this inning. Johnston comes set. Foul tipped into the glove of Conley. Counts 0-1. The Pilots have retaken the lead with 3 runs. 3 hits and an error. The 0-1 popped up. Standahar over, Brookover back. Standahar will make the play for out number 3. But we're going to keep playing baseball. The Pilots have retaken the lead. Bases loaded, slow chopper over the head of Brookover, scores 2 runs. Then on a sacrifice fly to short right field, scores the 3rd. We head to the bottom of the 9th. all of a sudden, the Jammers are down to their final 3 outs. And they'll have to face Jonathan Kyle Griffin to keep this game going. Pilots lead by 2. It's 7-5 here in Jamestown. Pilots took a 4-2 lead into the bottom of the 7th. Zach Mann struggled and was pulled for Henry Martinez. The two combined to give up 2 runs to tie it at 4. In the bottom of the 8th, off of Martinez, the strike zone shrunk, and Jamestown got a run on a Ben Brookover single. Pilots were down to their final 3 outs in the top of the 9th. Well, they used all 3 of those outs and scored 3 runs to go up 7-5. 3 runs, 2 hits, 1 error in the inning. They left 2 on, but they lead by 2. Griffin on to face 6, 7, and 8. Looking to save this game for the Pilots. He's appearing in his 15th game, his 11th out of the pen. First pitch to Colin Stack. Strike 1. Stack 0-4 tonight. Griffin took the loss on Friday night in Elmira. The 0-1. Grounded to Hackbarth. He will charge. Play it on a hop. Throw to first in time. And the Pilots are 2 outs away from a victory. So Stack is 0-for-5. Then has a single and 3 strikeouts tonight. Griffin in 31 2/3 previous innings, 42 hits, 23 runs, 20 earned, 17 walks, 20 strikeouts. He's 3-3 with 3 saves and a 5.68 ERA. His 4th save, and the Pilots go home winners of 4 of their 6 on this road trip. First pitch to O'Donnell. Inside, ball 1. The 1-0. Called strike 1. Ball 1, strike 1 out. Strike 2. O'Donnell. Not looking to buy, just looking here at Griffin. The 1-2 from the stretch. Lined into right, Torres over to his left. He will make the play, and the Pilots are 1 out away. Christian Deaton, the last hope. He is 1-for-4. Strike 1. The win would go to Henry Martinez, the loss to Colin Johnston, and the save to Griffin. 2 strikes away. The 0-1. Low. Counts 1-1. A win here would make these last 166 miles home that much more enjoyable on this 1,434-mile road trip across the state of New York. The 1-1. Deaton spun out of the way, and now Griffin gets to experience the strike zone shrinkage. Counts 2-1. from the stretch. The 2-1. Checked his swing. He went around. It's a called strike. And the Jammers are down to their final strike tonight. Griffin a strike away. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. A 2-run lead from the stretch. Foul tipped off the glove of Parker, and we're going to see another pitch. Christian Deaton at the plate, 1 for 4, the left-handed swinging left fielder. Tying run waits on deck, trying to stand him there. The 2-2. Taken inside, the count is full. The payoff pitch. Taken low, ball 4, and the Jammers have a 2-out base runner. As the tying run will step to the plate, it's Jimmy Sandoval. Was pinch hit for Nick Burnick in the bottom of the 8th. It was hit by a pitch. Still a 2-run lead for the Pilots. Griffin asked to get the final out here. From the stretch, first pitch. Taken high, counts 1-0. Number 9-hole hitter, Standahar. Do not want to see Chris Conley again. The 1-0. Low. This strike zone has really shrunk, and it counts 2-0. Griffin from the stretch. The 2-0. There it is, strike 1. 2 strikes away for Griffin. From the stretch, Deaton leads off first. Tying run at the plate. The 2-1. Swung on, grounded to Hackbarth. He will go to the backhand, flip to Christian Orr, and this game is over. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base in the bottom of the 9th. We are going to finish this road trip as we head back to Newark with a win. Henry Martinez picks up the win in relief. Kyle Griffin the save. Colin Johnston handed the loss. 4-2 on this 6-game road trip that spanned across 7 days. A wild game, a slow start. Pilots once led this one 4-1. In the bottom of the 5th, Jamestown got a run on a Ben Brookover double. Pilots still had the lead. Then in the bottom of the 7th, Zach Mann struggled. He was pulled for Henry Martinez with the bases loaded. On the first pitch to Martinez, a single, tied us up at 4. Then in the bottom of the 8th, Martinez gave up another single to Brookover, and they took a 5-4 lead. But when we headed into the 9th, a leadoff single by Loeffler, a walk to Zach Santoro. Mark McKenna moved them both over into scoring position with a sacrifice bunt for Graham Hackbarth. 1-0 count to Hackbarth. He's pulled for Christian Orr. Hackbarth walks. The bases are loaded. Hunter Wells chops the ball over the head and off the glove of the first baseman Brookover. The tying and go-ahead runs score. And then Will Alaka drives in Graham Hackbarth for insurance. That's all Kyle Griffin would need. A 2-out walk wasted. And we are headed home winners of this one. Off for the All-Star break on Monday and Tuesday. 5 Pilots going to be playing in the 2 games on Tuesday. Will Alaka, Peter Battaglia, and Torres in the prospect game. Hunter Wells and Henry Martinez in the All-Star game. Signing off from Dietrich Park in Jamestown, New York after this Newark Pilots victory. I am Frank Lasala. Thanks for sticking with us, and good night.